Welcome to One Shots, where we give you the latest breaking news and trending events on all things geek, movie, film, and TV. I am your host, Sergeant Murtaugh.
I'm Costello, Sergeant Riggs.
And I'm Rock Talks Leo Getz. And right now we're going to give you our thoughts on the latest rumors and speculation about Peter Safran leaving DCStudios and taking over the reins at WB Pictures.
But before we do that, please, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and share the video and leave your comments down below.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, it looks like we got some more Peter Safran information in the news, and this will be an update, and this is coming from comicbookmovie.com. So we found out in the last, 48 hours that it is rumored that Peter Safran will be taking over the film division, replacing Pamela Abdy and Mike DeLuca. According to rumors, again, speculation says that Zaslav is unhappy with their performance. To say the least, especially after the Joker 2 Folie à Deux debacle. So, more information has come out from comicbookmovie.com. And this was this morning. So this was sourced at about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. this morning. That the reason, and again, this is just speculation, that the reason why he's going to be tapped to replace them is because he is actually wanting out of the DCU. So, according to what this article is saying here, that is going to cause major issues for the his planned slate, for James Gunn's planned slate. So, I haven't read all through the entire article, but we can go ahead and chop it up right quick and see what's up.
All right. So, Peter Safran rumored DC studio departure could pose a major problem for DCU. New report claims that to further shed light in the big changes happening behind the scenes at Warner Brothers and the possible ramifications of current DC Studios CEO Peter Safran leaving DCU behind. Early this week, a report from Puck claimed that Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav is looking to end Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy's stint at Warner Brothers Pictures co-chiefs. They spent an awful lot more than they made for the studio since taking charge of its film slate. The frugal Zaslav, who hasn't shed away from scrapping near completed projects, appears to have reached the end of his tether. So basically,
they're scapegoating them. They're pointing the finger at Pam and Mike and scapegoating them, and saying that these problems that WB has had for years now, this isn't anything new. Okay, like when you're looking at this information here, nothing's changed. WB is still in the same shitty situation that they've been in for years. It's just a new figurehead to point the finger at.
Reading on, it looks like let's see. The Insider has shared an update today, theorizing that Zaslav may be eyeing Safran because he wants out of the DCU. Now, this information is coming from Jeff Snyder, and he said, and I quote, "It makes zero sense to me," Jeff Snyder started, "unless his DC Studios co-chief James Gunn has become such a control freak that Safran feels like there isn't much there for him to do over there." That could explain, and then he goes on to further say that could explain why he'd take another position within the studio, which would allow him to work on a greater range of projects outside of comic book movies and TV shows. Now, end quote. Here's the issue that I have with that. Outside of comic book movies and TV shows, last time I checked, comic book movies and TV shows related to that genre, that had nothing to do with Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy. Wasn't that the reason why they separated DC from the rest of it and made it its own studio? That was why they did that, right?
Right.
And now DC, so Peter Safran and James Gunn are co-heads of that studio, right? Pam and Mike DeLuca get all of the other film divisions. So they'll get the things that are non-DC, that are non-comic book. That's their responsibility. So they're trying to use that as an excuse, okay? Because Pam Abdy and Mike DeLuca, their movies have what they've made so far has been pretty decent. Not bad. Okay, not bad. DC Studios, however, since Gunn has been in charge with Peter Safran there, how many flops have we had so far, fellas?
You see this all the time at the level of a top producer who, between them or separately, will make flop after flop after flop after flop. I'm not going to name them, but I know who they are. And they're not all American either. And they still get paid huge sums of money for being in films that nobody wants to see. And producers make pictures out of which they take enormous sums of money. And the films, again, are not films people want to see. They're always going to blame somebody else. Always. Not their fault. No, you were the one who said, or whatever. And there's a word for that. It's called upward failure. You see it all the time.
Oof.
Well, basically, his entire DC EU lineup was a flop. Everything that he was involved in, minus the first Aquaman movie, pretty much flopped. I mean, he was involved with Shazam. He was involved with the Suicide Squad. He was involved with Shazam 2. I'm pretty sure he was also involved with Birds of Prey. All those films were the worst of the DC EU. All those films are what made the least amount of money for Warner Brothers when it came to the DC EU. What he has been successful in was his horror franchises, stuff like The Conjuring IP, the Annabelle IP, the Nun IP. That's where he's made money for Warner Brothers.
And that's and
those
again,
those are low budget movies.
Yeah, they're
those are lower budget movies. Yeah, so he's the king of the lower budget movies outside of the comic book movie genre. Okay, so yes, and if you look at your if anybody owns Conjuring or watch Conjuring, yes, you'll see his name in the credits. But here's the problem with that. Okay, if maybe Pam, Abdy, and Mike DeLuca, I don't know what definitively what their track record is as far as how much money they made for Warner Brothers Studios when it comes to their film division. But I will say this. Peter Safran was a producer. Mm-hmm. Okay, he was an executive on the DC side for all of those flops, and there's no accountability for that. They're just going to move him right over to another division, failing upwards, as they say.
Yep, failing upwards. But
replace two people. Keep in mind that were championing the return of the Snyderverse.
Mm-hmm. See, what I think Zaslav seems to be having an issue with is the films that are coming out from WB Pictures now. Stuff like Mickey 17, which had a high budget. It had Robert Pattinson, it had high expectations, and it's not doing very well. Stuff like the Minecraft movie, which I believe they thought would probably be a big hit among kids, and it doesn't look like
under
it's
WB,
getting,
right?
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's getting the attention that it should be, right? So, I mean, but then again, I'm pretty sure The Accountant 2 was also a WB film, and that looks like it'll be doing pretty well when that's released, so.
Indeed. And I just looked up this information here. So yes, the first Accountant Ben Affleck movie was under the distribution of Warner Brothers. It is not now. The Accountant 2 is under the distribution of Amazon.
That's right. My bad. Yeah. My bad. But I think what WB has lined up right now, I think they got the Minecraft movie for April 4th. They got Sinners coming out April 18th. And I believe they also have, it says here, Final Destination Bloodlines, May 16th.
Yeah. Now, Sinners they got Sinners coming out. So Sinners, for what it is, that's going to pull in some profit for them.
Here it is, Charles. The Accountant 2, they are involved in the international theatrical distribution and studio credit only, but it is produced by Amazon and MGM Studios.
Okay.
Right. So it's the international theatrical distribution.
So they threw him a little bit of change for distributing it. Okay, got it. I got it.
And it's the same thing with Final Destination Bloodlines. They are involved in the distribution only. The film was actually produced by New Line Cinema.
Yep. That was a New Line from the very first film all the way to the last. So,
but really, up until Superman comes out, that's really all they got right now. So I can see why Zaslav is sweating and looking for someone to point the finger at.
Well, he should point it to
Yeah.
himself.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, and we got actually, we got another piece of information for you. So, with all that being said, and this is Jeff Snyder continuing, quote, that said, I'm told that the number 3 at DC Studios, Chantel Nong, isn't quite ready to replace Safran in the capacity of co-CEO, nor is she necessarily the right fit alongside Gunn. So while the WBD slate may fare better under Safran, DC Studios may ultimately suffer in the long run without him taking on the brunt of the business responsibility for the studio.
Well, maybe, just maybe, this means James Gunn will actually have some work to do, and he'll be doing a little less tweeting. Maybe the workload will actually increase for him, and he'll finally have to shut the F up.
But see, still though, think about it, man. What is Feige doing, bro? Feige is his role, his kid in his capacity, his role is not what James Gunn is doing. James Gunn is trying to do everything.
Everything. He's trying to direct.
He's trying to write. He's trying to direct. He's trying to produce.
Even the
He's trying to
fucking
run it.
commercials.
Yeah, it's clearly all about him. It's always been about him. If it's not, I mean, a blind man can see that. It is just the truth.
Well, maybe at the end of the day, the way Peter Safran's looking at it is, I mean, James Gunn, since he seems to have the helm of this, why would Safran need to stick around there? If he is better suited off in other sections of the company, I can understand the business move as much as I don't want or Mike to go. I understand the business logic.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. But yeah, so Peter Safran rumored to take over the film division and TV division over at WBD, replacing Pam Abdy and Mike DeLuca. And then this updated rumor that he wants out of it anyway. So we'll keep presenting more information as it comes along here as quickly as we can possibly get it out to you folks. So what are you guys' thoughts on the latest rumor surrounding Peter Safran's possible move to head Warner Brothers Pictures? Do you think it's a positive move for WBD, or does it spell disaster?
Please let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we'll see you next time on One Shots.
Peace.